if you read our standing orders, which I'm sure you're well versed with, Standing Order 95(1) talks about sub judice. And it says, 1, that no senator shall refer to any particular matter which is sub judice, or which by operation of law is secret. Or 2, a matter shall be considered to be sub judice when it refers to an active criminal or civil proceedings, and the discussion of such matter is likely to prejudice its fair determination. Now, when such a claim is brought, you must show how the discussion of such a matter is likely to prejudice fair determination by the court of law. I'm glad Wakili Monari has said that the sentence of the charges that have been preferred against his client are serious, and it carries a life sentence. It is not to be joked around with. Those are his words. We have already lost 48 people. That is serious. That is not to be joked around with as well. If the issues that we have asked as a Senate of the Republic of Kenya are not issues that can affect the fair determination, and that's a determination to be made by the chair, exercise Standing Order number 1, then chair, we have no choice but just to release them and say they were hostile witnesses, and just leave it at that. Because then it is not because of sub judice. It is because you're not willing to discuss those matters.
Senator Sakaja, in answer to
just wait. There's some intervention. Senator Ledam.
I think I'll want him to respond first to what Senator Sakaja has stated. Yeah, so that we can be able to determine. Because I think one thing that I want to reiterate here is that I know Patel Mansood has talked about him being a victim. We're worried about the 48 Kenyans who have died. So when we're here, we are not going to dwell into specific matters on the charges, but there are issues that our letter addressed, and those are the things that we want to see whether we can be able to address.
Let me say something. The refrain about 48 people that died is gaining credence in this country. You're forgetting that there are other people who are injured. There are people who lost property and they're still alive. And those are the people that we are facing at Solai and dealing with. We don't take ourselves seriously as a country if the refrain of 48 is what makes us come here and answer questions against our constitution. I want to make it very clear, Senator Sakaja. If you want to declare us as hostile witnesses, so be it. But we have got criminal charges that we are facing. We've got civil action that is facing us. That's what we want to concentrate on. Having said that, we will provide this Senate committee with all the documents that we have in good faith and in the understanding that we want to resolve the problem of the Solai people. A license cannot stop rain. A license cannot stop boulders coming from upstream. Let's be very clear about it, and let's be very honest with the people of Kenya.
Then can you answer the questions which you asked in the letter? What you're telling us then is that you're ready to answer those questions, and yes, that's what we want. Simple as that.
Chair, allow me to interject, because I was going to refrain from asking this, but this is very, very, very important. And I know when the attorneys speak, it is the owner of the land who is speaking. Who brought that water into that land? I'm sure your lawyer must have advised you that when you take in something and you put it into this house, that thing can cause some mischief and it can disappear. And if it disappears and it hurts someone else, you are liable. So I don't want to venture into that, but I'm actually not happy to hear that we are only focused on the 48 people who have died. Those 48 people who have died, if they do not have a voice, we are speaking on their behalf. So the lawyer cannot come in here and tell us that we only focus about the 48 people who have died and we've left the people who are alive. We are looking at the interests of all the Kenyans who are there.
You've actually hit the nail on the head. You've said that if one gathers something in his compound and it gets out, you're talking about Rylands and Fletcher, the famous case of Rylands and Fletcher. So we're talking about liability here. This is not the forum for liability. The forum for liability under our constitution is the judiciary. Allow our judiciary to deal with that.
Chair, we had specific questions. The lawyer said he's willing to answer those specific questions. I think let's get to that. Let's not be distracted by, because we'll be derailed by other matters that are not before us. Let's go to the specific questions we asked for as a committee and get responses on those.
Now, can I guide these proceedings, Mr. Monari? First,
we have answered some of your questions, and can I hand over some of the documents so that...
Sorry?
We've answered some of your questions in writing.
I'm going to get to that in a short while. In terms of your objection, the rule under sub judice 95 is very clear. And the reason why I asked specific questions from Mr. Perry Mansuk is that ideally, what is in contention is an issue in court. Unless you have presented that issue, there's no question of sub judice. Sub judice only applies when you present those cases to us and you demonstrate that there is an issue in contention about what we have asked. That is the reason I just posed the question to Mr. Perry Mansuk. Is your license or lack of it in dispute? Is the ownership of the dam in dispute? We are fact-finding mission. So, Mr. Monari, I'm going to tell you and advise you that you're not helping Mr. Mansuk, because we have no intention of taking over the role of the judiciary. None whatsoever. We know where the judiciary is. We have no intention of prosecuting Mr. Mansuk Patel. None at all. We know where that happens. So we were only making certain inquiries, not because the information is not available to us. This document here consists of licenses, consists of applications that you have made. All you need to do, and all you needed to do, is confirm you applied, for example, to have a weir, to divert 50 cubic meters of water during normal days, and divert 2,000 cubic meter of water during flood situations. All you needed is that confirmation. Number two, confirm that the reports we have, that you constructed this dam without a contractor. That is information. If you don't want to confirm, that's fine. We cannot force you to do so. But as we speak, we have no record of anything that is sub judice. And we will not get into the merit of statements of witnesses, contested issues. That's not our business.
Chair, can we go to the substance of our questioning?
So, Mr. Mansuk, please, if you can answer the queries we have raised, you can take 5 minutes, take 10 minutes, deal with the issues. The questions about victims, whether you are a victim, you have a very good platform where you can mitigate anything you want. Very good platform to mitigate that you are a victim, boulders were coming down, whatever. But for our purposes, we want to stick to the line called fact. What are the issues? When did you start this work? So that we can determine, for purposes of the Senate, the issues that have been raised by the victims.
Mr. Chairman, we don't want to appear like we don't want to be cooperative, and Mr. Mansuk is going to talk to you and this committee on the history and circumstances. If we appear that we were a bit aggressive, please don't misunderstand us.
You know, we have worked with you, Monari. We know you. we understand you. That's why I told you you're not helping Mr. Mansuk. So you're not helping him. He was like very nice.
Sakaja, yeah. Let's get into the meat of business. Yeah.
Give him the microphone.
But it will be on certain lines that do not deal with other issues. You can imagine what we are facing out there. There is a person filing a suit every hour in Naivasha or Nakuru. There are lawyers from London who are here to file suits.
But how can you complain about it, Mr. Monari? That means you have legal work to do.
It's not just that.
That should not be a complaint from you. Mr. Mansuk?
Yes, sir.
Take the floor.
It's okay. Mr. Chair, may I say something?
Yes.
Your letter, my name is Masinde.
Yes.
Yes, your letter.
And don't take us back to the objection by your senior.
I will not. Your letter dated 9th July 2018 has 8 items that this committee is making inquiries about. So it's my humble request, therefore, that is it in order that we move, item from item 1 to 8 so that we move a bit faster?
So you have just repeated what I've just said. To give Mr. Mansuk the opportunity to go item by item, answer those questions. If you have something in writing, so much the better.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much, Senators. Chair, thank you so much. I am now at your disposal. Please, sir. Would you like me to answer each point?
Yes.
I'll begin with A, sir. Ownership and management of the Solai farm.
Could you please circulate the document? And I hope you're prepared also to answer a few questions.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Just begin.
Proceed.
Right, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will start again, sir. A, ownership and management of the Solai farm. The ownership of the Solai farm, the said farm is Milmet Estate, belongs to Ken Salt Limited, and the management is done by myself and my team of managers, sir. Yes, sir. May I proceed to the next one, your permission?
We'll stop you when we think you should not proceed.
Sorry, I'm not aware, so I will continue.
Proceed, yes.
B, activities undertaken at the farm. The commercial activities that we undertake at the farm, sir, are the planting and cultivation of coffee, of tea, of dairy farming. That means allied activities such as silage for preparation of fodder, grass or hay farming, again for fodder purposes. We also have a macadamia farm, sir, and we grow roses for export, sir. C, number of dams on the farm. The large dams we have are 3 dams on the farm, sir. D, licenses issued for the development and management of the farm. Sir, we have all of the licenses for the development of the farm, and we have been running within all the premise of the law, and we have been keeping all the various apparatus of state notified and informed, and we've also had a total open door policy, madam and sir, to ensure that there is total transparency. We are up to date with all of our payments on licenses. People are visiting us and they're most welcome at all times, and they continue to be, sir, most welcome, because we have been part and parcel of the society, as I said, and we plan to continue to engage government, both national, local, and to engage our people who are so dear to me. I think you may know, sir, that I've grown up there, and I think you're aware of the feelings people have for me, and I also have for them. So we want to stay within the premise always of the law. We are humble servants of this country, sir. E, circumstances leading to the Solai Dam tragedy. Sir, if I may, sadly, the amount of deforestation that has taken place upstream on land that does not belong to us is enormous, sir. I mean, I would beg you to please consider this. The wanton destruction of forests, of our habitat, the Kenyan habitat, has been enormous. People have cut every form of tree. They have farmed on hills, riverine areas, riparian areas. We have tried our best, and I know that you've visited our farm, and I'm thankful for that, sir. You've seen the amount of trees we've planted. Since I started working on the farm, I made sure that tree planting is very close to my heart and still remains. We planted all forms of trees to make sure that we could do best what we could in our area for our farm, our people. And unfortunately, this kind of deforestation has led to loose soils. Massive torrents of water came on that day, together with boulders which are enormity, massive, sir, and tree stumps which you cannot get your arms around. The girth, the age may be perhaps 150, 200 years old, which have been cut recently and died, so the roots can no longer hold the soil, and they came tumbling down together in a huge deluge, and there was no way, sir, at all that anything could hold that. I mean, if you see the landscape, sir, it's strewn with boulders, as I said, the size of, the enormity is massive. So these kind of external factors have hit us quite badly, and it's sad that it has precipitated to us, but we are victims of this, and I'm apologetic for what has happened, but it has come from upstream, sir, from other people's land, where the trees have been cut, and we have done our best for the environment. I keep emphasizing on this, sir, because it's something that's so dear to my heart. Tree planting, the conservation of flora, fauna is something that I have personally championed in whichever way I could, sir. F, excuse me, measures taken by the Solai group following up the Solai Dam tragedy. Sir, we have followed every regulation and rule that we have been put to follow. We have been asked to decommission the dam, sir, by the relevant and competent authorities, and we have willingly and gladly done so. We have been asked to return the river to its original stream, and we have done that, sir. And we will comply with what we are to do, always, sir. Please let me also emphasize that the strictures of law, to abide with law is something that we want to do, sir, all the time. So we have done this.